Man, Subaru really ticked off a lot of folks with this new 2026 Outback. Prices jumped way up. The design looks more like a crossover than the wagon we grew up loving, and fans online are losing their minds over it. And honestly, I kinda get why. Hey guys, this is Luke from CarLandTV, and it's time to slide into the driver's seat, cause today, diving deep into why Subaru fans are calling the 2026 Outback a sellout move, what actually changed under the hood and inside, and whether this thing still deserves to wear that Outback badge or not. But first, do me a quick favor. Tap that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. It ain't required, but those clicks keep this thing rolling and make it easier for me to keep dropping solid car content straight to your screen. Now, let's get back into it. The outrage. Subaru has people heated right now. The second the 2026 Outback dropped, the fan base went nuts. Everywhere you look, folks are ranting about how Subaru lost the plot. Forums, Reddit, Facebook groups, all full of people saying the same thing. This isn't my Outback. It's wild seeing a car that's been the heart of the Subaru lineup for decades suddenly get roasted this hard. And honestly, I get it. The base Outback Premium is now sitting around $36.5 grand. That's a big jump from a few years back when you could scoop one up for about 30 flats. Sure, inflation and tariffs play a role, but Subaru fans don't care about excuses. The Outback was supposed to be the everyman's adventure rig. The car you could buy without going broke, load up with camping gear, and hit the trail all weekend. That simple, practical vibe is what made it special. Now, people feel like Subaru's chasing luxury brands instead of staying true to its roots. Prices keep rising. Features feel more premium than practical, and the styling is drifting toward SUV territory. For fans who've been riding with the brand since the old wagon days, it feels like the soul's gone missing. No cap. Subaru touched a nerve this time. What changed in 2026? So, here's what really flipped people's lids about the 2026 Outback. Subaru changed a lot more than just the sticker price. The new Outback Premium starts at about $36.5 grand, and instead of the classic cloth seats, it now comes standard with StarTech's water-resistant upholstery. That's the same stuff Subaru uses in their wilderness trims, so it's tough and easy to clean, but it also signals that they're pushing the Outback further into rugged luxury territory. The body lines are boxier, the front grille is chunkier, and the overall stance feels more SUV than wagon. For longtime Outback fans, that hits a little different because the old design was more low-slung, more car-like, and easier to load up for road trips. I've seen a lot of people compare this redesign to Subaru, trying to chase Toyota and Honda, instead of sticking with what made them special. And to be fair, they kind of are. Subaru's been positioning the Outback above the Forester, which still starts near 31 grand, so the price gap is supposed to make sense on paper. But paper doesn't hold emotion. Fans don't see a logical price ladder. They see a car that used to be their affordable, go-anywhere, daily turning into a near $50,000 crossover. It's not that the Outback got worse in quality, it's that it stopped feeling like your old reliable buddy and started feeling like the fancy guy at REI. Subaru's chasing a bigger audience now, and it shows. Subaru's defense. Now, to be fair, Subaru isn't out here jacking up prices for fun. There's actually a reason behind it, and it's got a lot to do with the stuff most buyers don't even think about. First off, production costs have been creeping up hard since 2020. The Outback is built at Subaru's Lafayette, Indiana, plant, and the company's been hit with the same inflation, part shortages, and tariff hikes that smacked every automaker lately. Plus, Subaru's trying to keep that Made in America setup going, which costs more than importing certain parts from Japan. So when you see that higher price tag, yeah, part of it's them trying to stay profitable without cutting corners. Another thing is positioning. Subaru's been slowly pushing the Outback into the midsize SUV slot, above the Forester and Crosstrek. That's their way of making room for the newer Wilderness and maybe a future hybrid model. Once you factor in the features the 2025 Outback Premium had as options, like the power tailgate and heated seats, the new pricing kind of lines up. It's just not an easy pill to swallow when folks are comparing it to older models that looked simpler and cost way less. I can't even blame Subaru completely for this move. They're chasing a market where Toyota, Honda, and Mazda are all raising prices too. They know buyers want comfort, tech, and rugged appeal in one package. The problem is, Subaru fans never bought Outbacks for status. They bought them because they worked, and now that practicality feels a little buried under the fancy stuff. The identity crisis. The biggest thing that's got fans split right now is the Outback's identity. For decades, the Outback wasn't just another SUV in the parking lot. It was the car you bought when you wanted a wagon that could climb a mountain. It sat lower, handled tighter, and had that long, lean profile that gave it a totally different vibe from a RAV4 or CR-V. You didn't need a lifted crossover when you had something that could do the same job while still driving like a car. That's what made the Outback special. It lived in that sweet spot between comfort and capability. Now, with the 2026 redesign, Subaru's blurring that line hard. The roofline's taller, the front looks bulkier, and the body's got that squared-off SUV look instead of the classic wagon silhouette. It's only about 1.5 inches taller than the 2025 model, but it feels way more upright and crossover-like. The stance alone has longtime Subaru owners saying the Outback's turning into a wannabe SUV. You've got folks online calling it Forester XL, which is brutal, but kinda true. I get where both sides are coming from. Subaru's got to evolve to stay relevant, but it's tough watching something that built its reputation on being different start blending in. The Outback used to be the underdog, the car you bought when you didn't want to follow the crowd. Now it feels like Subaru's trying too hard to join it. No cap. That hurts the old-school fans more than the price ever did. What Subaru got right. Even the haters admit it. To be fair, Subaru didn't completely fumble this redesign. There are actually a few solid wins tucked into the 2026 Outback that even the haters got to admit are pretty slick. The interior tech finally got some love. Subaru updated the 11.6-inch touchscreen with a faster processor and sharper graphics, and they brought back actual physical knobs for the HVAC controls instead of forcing you through menus. That's something owners have been begging for since 2020. The infotainment also supports wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and from early previews, the interface runs way smoother than the laggy version from the last few years. Subaru also made the cabin tougher and roomier. The StarTech seats are water-resistant, which is perfect for folks hauling dogs, kids, or muddy gear. Cargo space jumped a bit, and they reworked the tailgate opening to make loading bulky stuff easier. Underneath, the same symmetrical all-wheel drive system sticks around, and you still get 8.7 inches of ground clearance, so the Outback hasn't lost its off-road bite. There's even buzz about a hybrid version coming soon, likely built off Toyota's hybrid tech partnership, which could make this thing both rugged and fuel-efficient. And here's what I need to rub. Even with that higher price tag, the Outback still undercuts most mid-size rivals once you match features. A comparably equipped RAV4 or CR-V will cost you a few grand more. So yeah, Subaru took risks, but they didn't phone it in. You can hate the changes, but you can't say they're lazy. The verdict. So here's where I land on all this Outback drama. Subaru didn't ruin the Outback, but they definitely changed its vibe. The soul of this car used to be about function first, and now it's trying to live in a world that's more about image. That's what's throwing people off. It's not that the 2026 Outback is bad, because it's still reliable, still practical, and still handles weather and dirt roads like a champ. It's that the personality shifted. It used to be that humble, outdoorsy car that didn't care what anyone thought, and now it's showing up to the trailhead wearing a Patagonia vest and Oakleys. But at the same time, I can't pretend Subaru's wrong for trying to evolve. The market's changing. Gas prices are climbing, hybrids are becoming the norm, and automakers have to pack in tech and safety to compete. Subaru's probably thinking long-term here, setting up the Outback for the hybrid future that's coming fast. The redesign keeps it in the fight, even if that means upsetting some of the purists along the way. So yeah, I get why people are mad, but I also get Subaru's side. They're trying to keep the Outback alive in a market where wagons are almost extinct. Maybe it's not the same scrappy ride we fell in love with, but it's still got some fight left in it. The question now is simple. Did Subaru sell out, or did they just grow up?